Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. I'm with my guest host, Matt. Thanks, Matt, for coming on. I appreciate it, the support and everything. So let's get a great show for you and everybody watching.
Of course, I'm very excited to be on here today. It's an honor.
Thanks, man. The honor's mine. All right, let's roll with this. So the first segment for our show is the Yankees look like they're turning a corner. 2 games. I know it's only 2, but it looks like they're turning a corner and coming back to them old selves. Now like I said, it's only 2 games, and if we go to a little bit, let's talk a little bit, and then we'll show the audience what we're looking at as well. So let's just go off. What are your thoughts on the first 2 games of the Yankees? The last 2 games of the Yankees coming off losing 1-2 series against Baltimore, losing 1-2 against the Rays, but coming off a 7-2 win against the Rays, and last night a 4-3 win against the Houston Astros. What do you think?
I think the team is starting to really understand that the playoffs are rolling around the corner right now, and the wild card race is somewhat tight, as we know. We are 3 games behind now?
Yeah, we are 3 games behind, so it is a tight race.
And now we're all past the deadline now, so there's no other moves you can really make this season currently. Unfortunately, we got Rizzo that went down, as we know.
That's a bad one.
But the team has looked like they're starting to care more. We have Aaron Judge back now. He may be on a somewhat of a restriction right now with the toe injury, but he has looked like himself still. He looks like he hasn't lost his touch in the batter's box.
Yeah, I mean, the way how poised he is in the batter's box, I mean, it just showed you his first game. He had a rocket to right field. It was a line drive, but it was a nice hit off a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. So his timing was on, and he earned 3 walks that game, 3 potential walks, and we lost that game 1-0. So, I mean, we could not.
There's a walk-off in the 9th, yeah.
Exactly. We could not do nothing offensively. So, to be honest, I don't fault Judge. I think we needed to, as an offense, we needed to do more. Like, hit. When he's on base, we got to get people home. We got to get him home, especially when he works the count like that. I mean, it was 3-2 count almost all the time. He didn't get hit. He didn't get walked. He just got 3-2 really hard. And he asked at the end of the game, did you think that they were pitching around you? He was like, no, I don't think he was pitching around you. I think they were actually pitching. I had like 3 straight 3-2 counts. So how can they be pitching around me if I had 3-2?
You got a full count every time, you know?
Exactly. So I think if Judge comes back and he gets a little bit in the swing of things, gets off that restriction a little bit, but let's talk about Stanton, man. Stanton is on a tear for the last 2 to 3 games. He has been hitting everything, especially against the Rays. 3-run shot, monster home runs, 110 miles an hour off the bat. Like, it was ridiculous. Killed it.
That was the exit velocity, yes.
Yeah, it was a monster.
I think that against the Astros, I think he performed amazing. And another one I want to say is I think Volpe's starting to come around a bit more as the shortstop. Oh, yep.
Yeah, yep. I think Volpe's a big thing for us. I think Volpe is our X factor. I would believe he's like, if you anybody that's watching plays fantasy football, he's like our flex option. You know what I mean? He's like that guy that really is not huge, not yet, but is huge enough to be in that flex position where we need something big. He can be the one to execute and deliver something massive in a game that we really need. You know what I mean?
Also, IKF being so flexible this season, playing almost every position on the field. Oh my God, he's our utility man for sure, and we haven't had a utility man in years.
I mean, our utility man was supposed to be, I believe it was, what's his name? A few years back, it was the dude that we were paying so much money for, and we kept paying.
I remember
Ellsbury.
I remember Ellsbury was a good big utility guy back a few years back too. Yeah.
Wait, when he was healthy.
Yeah, when he was healthy. Too bad he didn't pan out, unfortunately. Yeah. He was better with Boston, in my opinion. He was better with Boston, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. When he came over to us, he was like absolutely terrible.
I would say absolutely. He just couldn't find a fit.
I just think he couldn't stay healthy. That was my problem. Like,
Yeah, he
he
ran into
was
health
injured
issues. Yeah,
every year. I think that was really the big thing why he was really bad. He was good in sometimes, but most of the time he was bad because he just was never healthy, even when he came back to the field.
yeah. So you want to talk about Rizzo now, and then
Yeah,
Herman?
I just want to let's go over just the games that happened Wednesday,
Okay.
Thursday, and then tonight, and then we'll hit Rizzo and Herman. Because guys, we got a lot of stuff to go take care of, especially with Rizzo and Herman. Because these guys, man, oof, one's hurt, one's just checked himself in
One's in
treatment.
rehab.
Yeah, so we got some stuff to talk about. But the first game, as you guys can see on my screen, I am sharing the screen. Tampa Bay in those finale of the series on Wednesday took a 2-0 lead in the first inning off Garrett Cole, and that's really not what's been what Garrett Cole
Not common with Cole.
lately. Huh?
It's not common with Garrett Cole.
No, it's not. It was common
pitcher.
last year with Cole. He was always one to giving up home runs. This year, he really doesn't give up any.
He's an ace this year. He's a complete ace.
He's finally living up to the pay that we gave him. But if you guys see, first inning down 2-0, third inning is a monster thing, and that's when Stanton hit the 3-run homer. Volpe hit a 2-run homer, and we go 5-2. And we don't really look back from there. In the seventh inning, we get 2 runs there, and we finish off the game 7-2 with 13 hits to the Rays 6. So Garrett Cole basically shut him down to earn his 10th win of the season. He improves to 10-2 with a 2.64 ERA. That is a phenomenal record and ERA.
Great. That is great. That rally was huge in the third inning.
Oh my God, it was massive. I don't think if we don't have that inning, I don't think we win that game because the Rays had all the confidence.
Rays are a good team.
They are hard to say, but they are a very good team. If you guys see now, last night we had a very close game. I mean, we got out hit, but we got the more runs. Yankees got 4 runs, and that's all they needed. We only had 5 hits. We gave up 9 hits to the Astros, but the Astros only mustered three runs. Michael King gets the dub with a 3-4 record and 3.7 ERA, and Clay Holmes gets his 15th save of the season. So, I mean, for us, I think that King starting was a little surprised because King really kind of started the game, and he really did really well, and basically set the tone. So with the Astros going down this game, we have all the confidence rolling from the last 2 games to head into tonight's game, again versus the Astros. With Brown for the Astros pitching, I mean, he is 500 record, 4.12 ERA. We have Severino, like we always say. Severino has some nasty stuff. He's known around the league to have one of the nastiest bags as a pitcher in the league. His stuff that he throws is
he switches it up always.
It's crazy, but he has a 2-5 record and 7.49 ERA. He just gave up 6 runs to Baltimore, I believe last Sunday. He played absolutely terrible, and we can't blame the offense for that game because I think we going down 6-0 in the first inning is absolutely unacceptable, especially for Severino, and he's such a good pitcher, and he's a proven pitcher.
I think right now there's pressure on him to perform, but I hope that the past 2 games and the way that he sees the team performing right now, understanding that we're getting in situations where it's going to get tight with the race to the wild card and trying to earn a playoff spot that way, that I hope this is just going to uplift him moving forward, and especially tonight's game, that his confidence will be there, his pitchers will be there, and that he can get around the hitters in the box and get them looking every time or getting them swinging every time, just playing with them like he should be.
Yeah, like he usually does. I mean, this is the man that we trust. We would trust in the playoffs in this situation. We trusted Severino more than Cole at some point.
We did at one point.
At one point of last year and the year before that, it was Severino more than Cole. And then now with the injury that he had previous years, and he just hasn't been himself in the last 2 to 3 years. We date back to maybe 2017, 2018 versus the Astros in the playoffs. Man was a monster. 2016, I believe Judge's rookie year. He was a beast. So, I mean, it's a totally different team. I would believe it's 7 years ago. Totally different team that we had then that we have now. But to be honest, I think we have a better team now
We
than
do
we
have a better
did
team.
7 years ago, but I just don't think we're getting everybody on the same page all the time. We're not getting everybody consistent.
Everybody on this team, what I've noticed past probably 3 years now, I know we've gotten additions, but I've noticed this with a lot of the guys that we put in the lineup to start, our 9 guys that go in and hit. They're all trying to hit like 450-foot bombs to dead center. They're not a hitting team. They're a
No.
home run team. But I think the past 2 games, I think now they're starting to realize we have to play smarter. We have to hit the ball. We have to find gaps between now the shift that was put into place here. That's huge, especially. We need to take advantage of that
Yeah.
and hit the ball in those gaps and get by and stack runs and go in rallies, because once we do that, it boosts everybody's confidence in that box that's on deck next. And we do that, we win games, because you got to score runs to win games. Doesn't matter if you hit a home run, it matters if you hit the ball and you get on base.
Yeah, exactly. I agree totally, Matt. Totally agree with you on that. But let's pivot from here. Let's talk a little bit about Rizzo and Herman. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen right now, and let's go into a little bit about Herman and his alcohol abuse treatment and Rizzo's concussion that really went unnoticed for the last like month or two. But let's start with Herman. You have the article on your screen about Herman and whatever. Like he had a big altercation with Boone, and really that kind of like prompted everybody. It prompted himself, I would believe, to put himself into treatment for all the alcohol that he had consumed on that day.
Yep. So the report is from the Wall Street Journal via Lindsay Adler. So Domingo Herman had arguments with Aaron Boone and teammates during Tuesday's incident. He flipped a couch, smashed a TV, and made jokes with teammates while a teammate was packing his bag for AAA, and then they ended up making him go to the sauna to sweat out all the alcohol in his system, which is wild. Those are wild events that occurred on Tuesday's night.
And you can see I'm disappointed because Herman two years ago, I believe 2 or 3 years ago, was our best pitcher record and ERA wise. I believe he had like a 2.7
I think he was definitely
ERA.
great.
Yeah, he had like a 2.7 or 3.4 ERA with like 20 wins and like 5 losses. Like the man was untouched that year. He was a beast. But then that same year, he got injured or he got suspended or whatever. He was suspended for.
I think it was suspended for the assault charges on his girlfriend.
Yeah, he messed it up. We couldn't use him in the playoffs, and we really needed him in the playoffs. And that what that series showed. I think it was against Houston where we needed that extra pitcher to shut down Altuve, Springer, and all them boys, but we couldn't do it. And we gave it to Cole, and Cole was the man that gave up the home runs. And then we gave it to Chapman, and we all know what Chapman is. That guy came from awesome, great guy, great pitcher to absolutely
dumpster fire.
Oh my God, it was absolutely terrible. And he was the one he effed it up by saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go get a tattoo in the middle of the season," and then he gets infected, and then he's out for the whole season. Like the rest of the season. Like, before the playoffs, actually. It was before the playoffs. Like
was it a month before?
It was a month before the playoffs. How do you do that when you know?
Question. I have a tattoo. How do you get an infection? Like, how do you let that happen? Like, you're supposed to take care of that.
No, he probably was bathing in
You're supposed to keep it clean. You're supposed to not go in sunlight.
Yo, watch this. He was probably bathing in Cabo with Zeke Elliott. He was probably doing that. And then he was like, all right, I'm in the sun. We're good. I'm laying here. I got all these people around me. I'm drinking whatever. And then that's how it got infected. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reason why. I mean, we were coming out of this the summer. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But off of that, I think, what do you think with Herman? Do we think that we need to keep him? Do we think that we need to keep him?
Look, I think he's a great pitcher. I think he can really get people in the box when they're up on the plate. I think he can do a lot. He pitched a perfect game this year. Watched it live. You did too.
Yeah.
We both witnessed history. Really never something that happens all the time. But I do think that mentally, as an athlete, I do think he has problems, and I do think if he can get help, which he's doing now, hopefully it helps and works. Hopefully it solves his issue of alcohol abuse and also being a violent person in general. I hope he gets anger management therapy, and I hope as an organization, we can help him come back to being a better man. But unfortunately, if he doesn't change, I do think he will be a liability for the future.
I agree with that as well. So other than that, I think Herman really needs to check himself. And if he doesn't, then you know what? It is what it is. But yo, Matt, so we gotta keep rolling because we're taking a little bit time on our Zoom call here, and we gotta keep moving. But
Okay.
right here, let's go to Rizzo. Rizzo is the man that supposedly was supposed to help out Judge, was supposedly hope to help out Stan. And really, he's been really inconsistent this year. He hasn't.
Specifically the past 3 months.
Yeah, I would say the past 3 months, he's been inconsistent. The beginning of the season when Judge was there, hitting home runs. I mean, Judge was on pace to maybe even break his record of 62. He had 19 to 20 home runs in the first 25, 30 games of the season. And then he got injured, and then everything went back to the thing. But I think Rizzo going out with a concussion that was unnoticed, we really need
for 2 months.
For 2 months, yeah,
2 months.
Exactly, 2 months.
2 out of those 3 months that he was in that slump for, I'm not gonna lie, he wasn't right in there because he got that concussion.
No, he didn't look right either.
He collided with who was it again? It was I think
Tatis.
Oh, was
no,
it? But
no. It was the no. He got hurt with the Padres as
Tatis.
well.
It was Tatis Jr.
It was Tatis Jr., right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Tatis Jr.
Sorry.
was the one that he collided with. And then there goes the concussion. But I just think with him being out, we kind of really need to step up, and we really need to show that we'll be good and ready to roll. But other than that, let's pivot from there. Let's talk a little bit about the MLB trade deadlines, the big trades that are happening around the league. I mean, we're gonna focus on 3 big names right here. We're gonna focus on 3. We're gonna go with Shohei Ohtani, Max Scherzer, and Justin Verlander. As we guys know, if you guys weren't paying attention, Shohei Ohtani didn't go absolutely nowhere. The Angels are diving all in, trying to win in the next year or two, picking up guys from the deadline to help out Ohtani in the pit on the mound, helping him out in the defensively, and helping him out hitting wise because they need a lot of help with, especially with Mike Trout out with an injury as well. He's also injured, so when they get him back, there might be a scary team, man. They might be a scary team coming out of the National League. But with that being said, we have Max Scherzer. He's going from the Mets to the
Rangers,
to the Texas Rangers, and then you got Justin Verlander coming from the Mets to the Houston Astros.
Back to Houston.
I don't understand why you're going to even freaking trade the guy if you're going to bring him back in the deadline.
They didn't even trade him. I think he left in free agency.
That's right. He left, then
they traded him back.
That's ridiculous. I don't understand it.
I don't know what Steve Cohen's doing.
I don't know either. If you're going to come back and you're going to lead that Hall of Fame type pitcher, the man can literally still do it all, and you're going to just let him go back to the same team. And now that makes Houston a much bigger powerhouse because they have another ace pitcher. That makes Texas another powerhouse with another ace pitcher. Texas Rangers, Houston are one of the 2 best teams in the American League. So that just makes them much better than they already were. So which is ridiculous. So what are your thoughts on that? Give a quick little segment about your thoughts on that, and then we'll pivot to the next 2 segments, and then we'll finish it up.
I think that the state of Texas in general is going to be real hot for baseball, especially because you got both teams from Texas getting both aces from the Mets. It just wasn't working for the Mets, so I guess the Mets said, let's get rid of our two guys, Verlander and Scherzer. But you got Scherzer going to the Rangers. You know, Rangers are a stacked team right now, especially a powerhouse, and Houston is also a team that we always know to look out for, especially because they always make a good playoff runs, and especially because they're the reigning champions. They are a stacked team. They are a hitting team. They are a smart team. I hate to say it as a Yankees fan, especially with the rivalry, but they are good. I mean, you know them best because we watch them every year. But yesterday's win against them shows us that they're not invincible to beat.
Exactly.
But
we did get a couple wins against the Rangers in the series earlier in the season. So
yes, we did.
That means they're not invincible either. But we got to run from this segment. Let's roll to Alvin Kamara, and then we'll finish off with Anthony Davis. Alvin Kamara's situation is a little weird. No, he kind of fell under the radar. He's one of the best running backs out of the backfield in the league. He just needs to stay healthy and be consistent. But we remember in his rookie and his second year, he was a beast. He was a monster. He was one of the best to ever even play that position in the league, other than with Saquon, with all them. But he's a different type of back. He's not that big back. He's that man that's like Darren Sproles from Philly. He's the man making this, moving, catching out the backfield. He'll be like a wide receiver. But he has a situation where he went and got into a fight at a nightclub out of Las Vegas before the Pro Bowl in 2022. And he was going to get put as a felony, but they dropped the charges as a felony. So, of course,
the misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. So, of course, the NFL has to take action. So, he is suspended the first 3 games of the season. So, if you are looking at a fantasy league, fantasy owner of a team, you kind of do not want to pick him up until the 3rd game, but you might want to just to know that he might come back really strong. Who knows? Another thing is Malik Hooker did get signed by the Cowboys. I have it here. He's signing a 3-year contract extension worth up to $24 million and $16.5 million guaranteed. That's a big pickup for my Cowboys. He's a big, broad man. He's the guy, the safety that's going to make that big hit and really
make those cover people. He's doing the dirty work out there on the field.
Exactly.
Always.
Yep, exactly. So that's a good thing. I mean, I hope Alvin Kamara comes back and he stops with this crazy stuff, and I hope he has a good season and no injury free, because he's fun to watch. Malik Hooker, I hope he keeps doing what he's doing. But we got to roll because we got a time limit on this. But let's roll to the last segment. This is the big segment. That's going to be the last segment.
The big one.
The one I really want to talk about, other than the Yankees. Anthony Davis just got signed to a massive, massive contract for a 3-year extension worth $280 million. Worth up to 280. I believe it's 100. How much is it guaranteed?
So guaranteed, it is 186 million is guaranteed. The rest is all incentives, and then he'll get an extra 10 million if they win the championship in that time period. So
he can be up to almost 290 to 300 million dollars. He's also getting $62 million a year. That's ridiculous. That's the largest contract in NBA history right now. Literally, the most money.
I think it's the biggest extension in a shorter amount of time.
Yes, that's what I meant. The biggest extension.
Extension was Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown has the history, but the short amount of time of a 3-year period, $62 million a year, that's a lot. But is he worth it? That's the question. With a minute 20 left on our show, let's see if he is worth it. I don't know. I'm a Lakers fan. You're a Warriors fan. I'm a Lakers fan. We've been watching Anthony Davis for a long time. I don't know if he's worth it. He's got to show me this year coming up if he can come to that dominant force like he was in 2020, or in the playoffs. Defensively, he was fantastic. But offensively, he was a little bit shell-shocked. So in the next
I think he's afraid to be a big man sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So in the next minute, what do you think? In the next 30 seconds, you got to wrap this up a little bit.
That's fine. So Anthony Davis, man, look, I know the glass jokes, they're a little controversial, but I do think he's made out of glass.
Same here, man. I'm a Lakers fan.
He constantly gets injured. Look, he constantly gets injured, but he's a great player. He's a great player. He is an all-around good big man. Look, so it's really up to the Lakers to see his worth, and if they do see his worth, and by the way, his agent Rich Paul is making an absolute bag off of that.
Hell yeah.
But back to AD though, he's got to show us that he can play more than 30 or 40 games consistently, without getting injured at all.
Exactly.
That's what he needs to show. That will show us if he's worth it or not, because he needs to go back like he was playing.
Hey, what's up, guys? So we had a timestamp on our Zoom call, so sorry about that. We got cut off. But we are just about to end the show. Matt basically just finished up by just saying if Anthony Davis just needs to get back to the New Orleans Pelicans Anthony Davis or the 2020 Anthony Davis. Right, Matt?
Yep. I mean, I said my last words too, and we got cut off. So it was good timing, but we still needed to do this.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, thanks again for listening in on my YouTube show on the Fire Sports Pod. Right after this, we're going into Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I did just post my TikTok before this, but I am going to thank Matt for coming on as my guest host. He should be probably next week on our Friday on our show, also again as our guest host as well. Right, Matt?
Yep. Thank you. I'm hoping to be a co-host eventually. So
right, perfect.
Thanks for having me, man. It was an honor and great pleasure coming on here and talking with you.
The honor's mine, my guy. I appreciated everything that you do. So that's it, guys, for our show. And I will see you next Friday. Don't forget to tune in to our Apple Podcasts and Spotify show that's coming to you literally right after this. So I'll catch you guys then. If not, I will see you guys all on Friday. Peace out.
See you guys.